Hey, remember when it was reported that Vic Fangio was taking the Dolphins defensive coordinator job, and everyone and their moms, whenever you bring up Fangio, he's taking the Dolphins job. It is settled. It is settled. It is settled because, I mean, reporters never jump the gun. Even phenomenal ones like Tom Pelissero. Sometimes things aren't final until they're final. And Vic Fangio reportedly is weighing his options, and notably, since DeMeco Ryans is taking the Texans job, potentially is going to be landed back in San Francisco, where he left his heart, all that stuff. But Fangio is up for the Dolphins gig. He's up for, he interviewed for the Falcons job. He interviewed in Miami, of course, as well as he's being linked to the Niners job. But the question is, why was he never linked to the Vikings job? Right, so that's the main question, and including last year, where Fangio was fired as head coach of the Broncos, ended up being a consultant for the Eagles, which, whatever. But basically, he took a year off, but now he's back in the arena. But why was he never tied to the Vikings job? All right, so we got 5 reasons why Fangio. It could be part and parcel where, I mean, the Vikings, maybe they weren't interested in Fangio ultimately, even though they certainly were last offseason, or maybe Fangio's just like, meh. All right, so let's dive in. Number 1, loyalty to Ed Donatel. Now, Donatel had been Vic Fangio's right-hand guy for 11 years. They were together in San Francisco with Jim Harbaugh. They were together in Chicago when Donatel was the DC, and they were together in Denver where Donatel was the DC to Fangio being the head coach, right? So I don't think that Fangio is necessarily just going to horn in on his friend's action here, where, they hired Donatel last offseason because it was clear that Kevin O'Connell wanted some of that Fangio flavor. He wanted that 3-4 attacking, disguising defense, but it just didn't come in. Where, whether it's Donatel was a cheap knockoff of Fangio or the Vikings simply didn't have the talent on defense, could be both. Could be like a 70-30, could be both, whatever. But yeah, I think that Fangio and Donatel, they go way back like chiropractic, and I don't think that Fangio's going to be too keen on just like, hey, you fired my buddy, I'm going to take his job. Now, I really don't see that. And also, number 2, he ain't about a rebuild, where the Vikings defense, it is going to be a full teardown and rebuild from the studs. They were 31st in defense last year. There's a lot of veterans who are certainly getting up there in age, so they're going to tear this thing down and rebuild it, and that could be why he is interested in the Dolphins, where they do have a bunch of studs there. Carolina is young, fast, and free with Brian Burns and Derek Burns and Jeremy Chin, and then also, of course, the Niners are the number 1 defense in the National Football League, and it really is turnkey, even though he's going to have to, even though you have 4-3 personnel, he's going to make it work. Like, Vic Fangio is a defensive mind. He's not married to a scheme. Only idiots are married to the scheme. You build your scheme around the players. You don't bring in the players around your scheme. That's how it goes. Next up, reason number 3 why no Vic Fangio with the Vikings. Left his heart in San Francisco. Like we said, the Niners, I mean, you walk in and it's easily the most talented defense in the National Football League, from all 3 levels. And also, he spent 5 years in the Bay Area, 1 at Stanford, 4 with the Niners. Like we said, he was with Harbaugh for all 5 seasons. So, he knows the area. Family probably grew up there to a degree. So, I think that makes a lot of sense, especially where you have stability with Kyle Shanahan. Maybe not the quarterback position. Well, maybe they'd trade for Kirk. I don't know, but and with the Niners, you have studs all over the place with Bosa, with Greenlaw, with Fred Warner, with Hufanga. I mean, it's just, yeah. I fully understand that. Versus, I don't know, like can we make Harrison Phillips a true nose tackle here in Minnesota? I don't know, man. Next up, number 4, or Sean Payton. So reportedly, he is being tied to the Broncos DC job because of Sean Payton. Now, this one would be hard to swallow, where it would be so humbling, where you were the head coach of this team not so long ago, by the way, literally 1 year ago, and then you're being brought back as defensive coordinator. It's literally a situation, if the Vikings, they fired Mike Zimmer, they hired Kevin O'Connell, after 1 year, Mike Zimmer comes back as defensive coordinator. It would never happen, but I mean, Sean Payton, Vic Fangio obviously have a connection and a relationship. And Fangio, like I said, he's had 3 stints with the Broncos. He was DB coach, he was DC, he was head coach, and now he could be back for the 4th time, which would be kind of crazy. But I fully understand why he would prioritize the Denver job, why he would prioritize the Niners job, or even the Panthers or the Dolphins job, because of the talent there versus the Vikings. And lastly, number 5, maybe it's just cowardice. I don't know. Like, maybe he can't handle the pressure and expectations of what it means to be a Minnesota Fighting Vikings. And also, the Purple People Eaters 2.0. Hey, remember when Za'Darius was touting that this offseason? Yeah, about that. But, like I said, maybe he doesn't want to be part of a teardown or rebuild. Maybe he doesn't want to work with young players. Maybe he already wants to walk into a tailor-made situation where he can have success early and often. Like, he wants to have the best defense in the NFL. He doesn't want to take a 31st defense and then improve it and make it like 18th. I don't think that he wants any part of that. And at his age, like, I really don't blame him. So, I mean, there's a myriad of reasons why. Like, the other jobs are certainly better. He doesn't want to take over his friend Donatello's job, and he doesn't want to work with young players. I mean, all that adds up to why, the Vikings and Vic Fangio, even though it makes a lot of sense, even though a lot of fans, myself included, were just like, let's do this. There's a reason why he was never tied to the job. So, whatever, man. But your thoughts are thoughts. Vic Fangio, Vikings, why? Never. Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skol, production value.